The hospital was quiet that night, too quiet for what was about to happen. Inside the delivery room, Betty screamed in pain as the doctors helped her push. Sweat covered her face, but joy danced in her eyes. She was about to meet her twins. "Doctor, the first baby is out," a nurse announced. A loud, healthy cry filled the room. It was a baby girl, perfect, pink, and kicking like a future footballer. Then came the second baby, and silence. Dr. Adams, Betty's husband, stood over the second child. His face froze. One look, and his joy melted into something darker. The baby wasn't like the first. Her legs were twisted, small, weak, crippled. He blinked. "God forbid," he whispered to himself, glancing around to make sure no one saw the disgust on his face. Another nurse approached. "Dr. Adams, should I?" "Leave it," he snapped, quickly wrapping the child in a hospital sheet. "Go check on my wife." The nurse hesitated, then walked away. Adams stared at the helpless baby. She moved her tiny fingers, trying to cry like her sister, but her voice was weak, almost begging. He looked down at her and said coldly, "What kind of joke is this? One child came out like a queen, the other like punishment." He rolled his eyes, grabbed a black polythene bag, stuffed the newborn inside, and crept out through the back exit like a thief in the night. His doctor coat hid the bundle. His steps were quick and heartless. Behind the hospital, near the waste bins, he looked around. "No CCTV here. Perfect," he muttered. He dropped the baby in the bin like expired drugs and walked away without a second glance. 2 days later, Betty slowly opened her eyes in the recovery ward. Where are my babies?" she whispered. A nurse smiled and brought in a little pink bundle. "Congratulations, Ma. It's a girl, a healthy one." Betty smiled weakly. "She's beautiful, but where's the second baby? The scan said I had twins. Where's my other child?" Silence filled the room. Then the door creaked open. Dr. Adams walked in. His eyes were red, but not from crying, from guilt. He knelt beside her, held her hand, and dropped his head. "Betty, I'm so sorry. The second baby, she didn't make it. She died at birth." Betty's smile vanished. Her lips trembled. "What? How?" "Both babies were okay during the scan." "What happened?" Adams sniffed and gave his best performance. "It was sudden, complications. The second baby was deformed, very weak. She couldn't survive. I didn't want to upset you when you were still unconscious." Betty broke down in tears. "No, my baby girl. I didn't even get to hold her." Adams looked away, pretending to wipe tears while silently thanking his stars that the lie worked. Same day, same hospital, but outside, near the dirty waste bins bin, someone else was also starting her day. They called her Casual, a mad woman, always dressed in rags, always laughing at things no one said. She lived under the old bridge behind the hospital and believed she once ruled a kingdom in heaven. To the people around, she was just another lunatic. Casual skipped toward the bin, humming a strange song and talking to herself. "Let's see what the world cooked for me today. Chicken, rice, or bread with extra cockroach sauce?" She opened the lid and cheered, "Jackpot!" as she pulled out half-eaten bread, a box of soggy noodles, and some leftover cake. She threw them all into her nylon bag with excitement. Then she touched something different, heavy, soft, still warm. She dragged out the big black polythene bag, expecting it to be some special meat. "Ah! Who throw full goat here like this?" But when she opened the bag, she froze. Her wide eyes blinked, confused at first. Then her cracked lips slowly stretched into a rare, gentle smile. "Ah! It's a baby! A small baby!" She held the little girl close and gasped. "A whole human being! My baby! My own Pekin!" Without wasting time, Casual gathered all her treasures and rushed back to her base, a wooden shack made from old roofing sheets and banner cloths. Inside, she laid the baby on a faded wrapper and carefully unwrapped her, cleaning the dirt with pieces of cloth soaked in bottled water she'd begged from a passerby. "See, fine girl, you no even cry," Casual whispered. "You be queen like me?" But then something didn't feel right. The baby wasn't crying. No sound. Her chest rose and fell, but faintly. Panic crossed Casual's face. "Hey, baby! My baby! Wake up, nah!" she shouted. Just then, a woman walked past in a nurse uniform, tired from her night shift, ready to go home and sleep. It was Madam Nurse, Nurse Flora. Casual spotted her and screamed, "Nurse! Nurse! My baby Dio!" Nurse Flora turned, thinking it was just another episode of madness. But when she saw Casual holding a real baby, dirty, weak, barely breathing, her eyes widened. "Casual, where did you get that baby?" she shouted, rushing over. "I born him now." Casual snapped proudly. "Or you no want me to have Pekin because I no wear shoe?" Nurse Flora ignored her sarcasm and gently took the baby. Her trained hands immediately went to work. She checked the breathing, pulse, temperature. She looked up, shocked. This baby is only a few days old, and she's still alive, by miracle. Flora tore her scarf and wrapped the baby warmly, rubbing her tiny chest. Suddenly, the baby cried. A weak but powerful cry. Casual screamed with joy. "She talk! My baby talk! Glory be to the God of beans and bread." Nurse Flora couldn't speak. She just stared at the crying child. "Who would dump a living baby like this?" she whispered. Then she looked at the hospital building, and her eyes narrowed. Something didn't feel right. 6 months later, the air in the Adams home now smelled of peace, fresh baby powder, and expensive perfume. Everything seemed perfect. Betty had wiped her tears and focused on her new world, her beautiful daughter, Gloria. Every corner of the house echoed with baby laughter. Toys were scattered like confetti. The baby walker had become a road hazard. Gloria's loud giggles filled the rooms as she crawled from one corner to the other like a tiny explorer. Betty smiled more now. She wasn't the same woman who had woken up from surgery asking, "Where's my second baby?" No, that version of her had been buried along with the lie. Now she spent her mornings singing lullabies and her evenings watching cartoons with Gloria, even though the baby preferred chewing the remote. "Sweetheart, say mama. Just say it once. Don't embarrass me in front of the TV," Betty would tease, making silly faces. Dr. Adams? He was now the father of the year. Every morning before going to work, he would tiptoe into Gloria's room just to watch her sleep. "Just look at this beauty," he'd whisper with a grin. "My perfect child." Every night after work, the same ritual. He'd rush home, drop his briefcase at the door like it was on fire, and scoop Gloria into his arms. "Daddy's here," he'd sing as he tickled her tiny feet. He bought her toys every week like he was trying to bribe karma. Dolls, rattles, talking teddy bears. Gloria had more toys than the neighbor's triplets. Even Betty would joke, "Are you building a toy shop or raising a child?" Adams would just laugh. "I just want to give her everything." And on the outside, they truly looked like the perfect little family. People who visited their home always said the same thing. "Wow, this baby is lucky. She's loved." But what they didn't know was that one part of that love was fake. Dr. Adams had buried his guilt. He had packaged it, sealed it like that black polythene bag, and thrown it into the deepest part of his memory. And now he smiled, played, and slept in peace. At least, that's what he told himself. After all, the crippled baby was gone, right? Right? While peace reigned in the home of Dr. Adams and Betty, far away under the old bridge, another kind of miracle was growing. The world called her mad, but Casual, the woman in rags, was now a full-time mother. Every day she picked food with one hand and love with the other. Her baby, the one she rescued from a bin, was now her whole world. They slept together on a mat made of old posters. They bathed under leaking pipes. And they played with broken toys like it was Christmas every day. But Casual didn't mind. "Not so Queen's Day start," she always said. She picked baby clothes from dustbins, washed them by beating them against rocks like a professional dry cleaner, and laid them to dry on her shack roof with pride. But one fateful day, something dramatic happened. Casual was walking past a compound when she saw a woman about to burn a pile of old clothes. Casual's eyes widened. She sniffed the air like a hunter. "Oh, my gosh, dem wan kill treasure." The moment the woman lit a matchstick, Casual screamed, dropped her bag, and grabbed a long stick. Wicked woman, so you want burn my baby's blessings? The shocked woman jumped back. Auntie, I beg na my old clothes. Lie, lie, all these na designer for my child. Comote from here, fire woman. Without waiting, Casual scattered the pile, put out the fire, and packed all the clothes into her sack. And there it was, among the pile, a dirty, bent, almost broken baby walker. The left wheel was missing, and the music button was hanging by one wire. To someone else, it was trash. To Casual, it was a jackpot. Jehovah overdue. See when heaven dawn drop for me. Who say my pekin no go walk? She sang and danced as she dragged the walker home like she just won a lottery. That night, as the moonlight lit her small space, Casual laid the clothes out like fine garments in a boutique. Then she looked at her baby, who had been crying from hunger and heat. She bent close and whispered, "My baby, I brought you plenty goodies today. Your leg way no get bone go walk today by force by fire." She carefully placed the baby into the broken walker. It squeaked, it tilted, it almost fell. But Casual held it straight, singing and clapping. "Walk, my glory, walk, my queen, take your throne." The baby, weak, frail, legs still curled like a newborn's, didn't move, but her lips parted, and then she smiled. A wide, soft, genuine smile. Casual froze, then laughed with tears in her eyes. "You smile? You dey feel me?" She dropped to her knees and clapped joyfully. "I go call you Glory. Yes, na glory be your name." The baby smiled again, and that night, under the broken stars, in a shelter made from trash, Glory laughed. To the world, she was abandoned trash. But to Casual, she was a queen in training. Months rolled by, and baby Glory had grown into a fragile little girl with a big smile and stubborn legs that refused to straighten. But Casual, the mad woman, was not moved by that reality. When others would cry, she built. When others would complain, she crafted. The truth had finally hit her. Glory may never walk like other children. But instead of mourning, Casual did what no mother had done before. She picked old wood from a carpenter's dump, bent nails she found on the roadside, and with her cracked bare hands, she built crutches. Yes, real wooden crutches, short enough for a toddler, shaped like tiny walking sticks with padding from old cloth wrapped at the top. She danced all the way back to their little shelter. "Glory, my glory, come and see what God has made through your mama." The little girl turned with wide eyes. Her hair was rough, her dress mismatched, but her spirit was shining like the sun. Casual knelt before her and presented the crutches like a queen handing her daughter a royal staff. "My baby, if you no get legs, no wahala, you get wood. You go waka by force." Glory giggled, took the crutches like it was a game, and tried to stand. She wobbled, she fell, but she tried again, and again, and soon she stood on her own. The crutches held her. She looked like a baby soldier learning how to march. Casual screamed with joy, her voice echoing through the streets. "Hey, everybody, my baby don stand. Oh, she don waka with her wooden leg." People turned. They watched. Some paused to smile. Others whispered and laughed behind their hands. That mad woman with the crippled baby again. She dey call her Glory. Know where she even get that child from? I beg, she probably picked the baby from the gutter like she picked everything else. People talked. People mocked. People stared like they were watching a drama show. But one thing they couldn't deny, Glory was real, and she was loved. She may have been born with twisted legs, but she had a mother who bent wood with her bare hands just to see her child stand. Because madness may wear rags, but love wears no disguise. Years passed like pages flying in the wind. Glory had grown. Her wooden crutches had grown with her. Her smile, still as bright as the sun. And Casual, she remained the same. Dirty dress, matted hair, mad to the world, but mother of the year in her own kingdom. That day started like every other. Casual was digging through a bin beside the mechanic workshop, searching for leftover bread, spoilt biscuits, and if the heavens were kind, maybe a piece of meat someone threw away. But something distracted her. A group of children in shining uniforms walked past, clean, bright, holding lunchboxes and wearing socks whiter than her future. She froze, like a statue in rags. Her eyes followed them slowly, as if it was the first time in her life she noticed children going to school. She blinked. One tear dropped. Then she dropped the dirty nylon bag she was holding. Wait first? Na school be this? People still they go school like this? She quietly followed them, walking far behind like a spy. She didn't go close. She didn't talk. She just watched. The children entered the building, an old public school with no fence, no gate, and no signboard. Just cracked walls, half painted in brown and cream. Casual stood there in silence, like God himself just gave her an idea. Then she turned and ran. No, she flew back home. My queen, wake up, wake up, wake up! Not school time! Glory sat up, confused. Mama? School? Casual grabbed her by the shoulders, eyes wide with excitement. No food today. I say no food. You hear me? Today not school, you go. Before Glory could even protest, Casual was already brushing her hair with her hands and cleaning her face with a piece of damp cloth. She wore her the best dress she had. It was torn at the sleeves and stained in 2 places, but it was Glory's finest. They didn't have books, no pencil, no bag, not even slippers. But they had something else, mad determination. Casual carried her child on her back, her wooden crutches tied with a rope, and walked all the way to the school. But she didn't enter the gate. She stopped behind the last classroom, where a broken window allowed voices and lessons to leak outside. She dropped Glory gently, fixed her clothes, and held her face in her hands. Now here you go learn. You hear me? Sit down here and listen with your big ear. One day you go become doctor or lawyer or even teacher. E shock you? I shock too. Glory smiled, even though she didn't fully understand. Casual whispered again, I know go school, but you go school. You must, even if not from back window. Then she turned and left to hustle food. Not long after, she returned with a half-eaten bread, some watery beans, and a torn paper she picked from the ground. She handed it to Glory. Eat, and use this paper draw like others. Na so school day start. And that moment was how Glory started school. Behind a broken classroom, with no name on the register, no shoes on her feet, but a fire in her heart, lit by a woman the world had already forgotten. Meanwhile, far away from dirty bins and broken classrooms, another little girl was growing up, Gloria. Adorned in silk bows, polished shoes, and a name that opened every gate. She was the apple of her parents' eyes, the center of their carefully crafted world. While Glory leaned on wooden crutches and eavesdropped on lessons from behind a cracked wall, Gloria walked down marble-floored hallways in the best school in town, complete with air conditioners, gold-plated name tags, and a chef who knew her favorite smoothie blend. Her school bags were imported. Her toys spoke multiple languages. And during holidays, she traveled around the world like a celebrity's daughter, Paris for Easter, London for summer, and Dubai just because she liked them all. Photos of her smiling on a yacht, posing with dolphins, and shopping with her mum filled the walls of their mansion. Dr. Adams couldn't help himself. He spoiled her endlessly. He bought her the biggest birthday cakes, hosted the most expensive parties, and bragged about her at every hospital conference. This is my daughter, Gloria, very brilliant. She will become a neurosurgeon like me, maybe even better. Betty, now stronger and full of grace, poured all her motherly love into Gloria. She decorated her room with stars and pink pillows, helped her do homework, and never allowed her to go to bed sad. They had a perfect life, a perfect home, a perfect child. As the years rolled by, life under the bridge wasn't easy. Noise from moving trailers, smell from the nearby gutter, and cold wind at night made the place almost unlivable. But for Casual and Glory, it was home, their kingdom, their palace of hope. Every morning, Casual cleaned Glory's crutches, wiped her dusty school dress with her bare hands, and sent her off with a smile, even if there was no food in her stomach. Go learn. I go find food. But something had changed in Casual. She was no longer just digging for leftover rice or old slippers. Now her eyes were sharper. She started noticing books in the bin. Yes, books. Old textbooks, torn notebooks, half-used pencils, even drawing papers. Gold to her now. Food no day last, but book fit last till Pekin become president, she whispered one day. From that moment on, her daily treasure hunt changed. People would see her carrying a sack of old newspapers and say, Casual Dawn finally crace finish. Which Mad Woman Day read book? But they didn't know. They didn't understand. Every evening, when Glory came back from school, sweaty, dusty, tired, she would see something waiting for her under the bridge. A book. Not new, not fresh, but a book. Sometimes it was a torn maths book, sometimes a dirty English textbook missing the cover, sometimes just blank papers to write on. And Glory? She would sit under the fading daylight, open her new book, and read it like it was made of gold. With her legs folded, crutches by her side, and a fire in her eyes, she studied. Casual would sit close, watching her daughter read, smiling like a mad woman who had found the secret to life. She even started telling people, "No disturb my pekin. She dey study to be lawyer, we go help mad people like me for court." People laughed. Some clapped. Some ignored her. But they couldn't unsee the truth. Under the dirty bridge, on bare ground, beside sacks of picked plastic and rusted iron, a little crippled girl was becoming somebody. All because a so-called mad woman started picking books instead of bread. That morning, Glory arrived earlier than usual. Her wooden crutches tapped quietly on the cement floor as she moved behind the back classroom, the same hidden spot she'd sat for years. The weather was still cold, and the school's morning assembly had started. She didn't join. She never did. She simply stood at the back as always, listening, watching. The head teacher, a woman known for her iron cane and thunder voice, had already started her usual morning drilling. Primary 1, what is 2 plus 2? 4, ma? Good. Primary 2, who is the president of this country? Bola Tinubu, ma. Correct. Primary 3. Then came the storm. Primary 4. Mention 3 characteristics of a living thing. Silence. Pin drop silence. Heads down, legs shaking. The head teacher's eyes narrowed. I said 3 characteristics of a living thing. If I count to 3, all of you will collect. Hot, hot. 1, 2. A small boy in the front row broke into tears. Please, ma, please don't flog me. I don't know it. The head teacher raised her cane. Then suddenly a voice. Soft, bold, clear. Please, ma, don't flog him. I know the answer. All heads turned, even the teachers. From behind the block, walking slowly but boldly with her crutches, Glory stepped out. Dust on her knees, dress torn on the side, hair uncombed, feet bare. Yet her eyes, bright, focused, fearless. The head teacher blinked. Who are you? You're not in primary 4. I'm in class, ma. Glory replied gently. I always sit at the back, but I know the answer. The head teacher squinted, a bit amused. Say it then. Glory took a deep breath. Movement, growth, and reproduction, ma. The entire assembly went silent. The answer was correct. Eh? Who taught you that? I read it in a book I picked from the dustbin. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Then one teacher nodded slowly. Yes, yes, that's the same crippled girl. I remember. The mad woman used to bring her here when she was still small. She would drop her at the back to listen. The head teacher stared at Glory for a long moment, and then she said something no one expected. From today, you are no longer a girl behind the class. You are now our student. A few weeks later, the school management, moved by her brilliance and her story, helped her get a scholarship from a local NGO. They gave her uniform, books, a chair, and a name on the register. From a hidden listener to a student, from a girl in rags to a girl with hope. And as she walked into class officially for the first time, Casual danced outside the school, shouting, "My baby don't enter class!" All of a clap for lawyer in advance. People laughed. Teacher smiled. And Glory? She wiped her eyes, whispered to herself, I will make you proud, Mama Casual. I will. Years later, time flew. The same girl who once sat behind a classroom, who once read torn books from the dustbin, who once limped to school on wooden crutches, was now standing on a stage. The crowd cheered. Cameras flashed. Banners flew. Congratulations to our best graduate, Dr. Glory Casual. Yes, Dr. Glory. A full-fledged neurosurgeon. She had not only graduated, she came out with distinction, making history as the first physically challenged student to win Best Student in Medicine at the entire state university. Her story had inspired the nation. The news covered her speech. The crowd clapped again. Mama Casual, now older, still dressed in her usual patched wrappers, was seated in front. She didn't understand the big grammar, but when the whole hall stood up to clap, she stood too, dancing with her arms in the air. "Not my baby, oh! Not my baby!" she shouted, her smile showing her scattered teeth. But that was not the end. Just 2 months after graduation, another surprise came. Glory got a full international scholarship to further her studies abroad. A top hospital overseas had read her story in the news and offered to train her in one of the most prestigious neuroscience programs in the world. The day her visa came out, Casual couldn't contain herself. She ran from street to street, waving a nylon bag like it was a flag. "Una here am, my baby, dey go America. My baby, she no get papa, but she get mama, and she get head. Glory, now you be Glory." That evening, Glory sat by Casual and held her hands gently. "Mama Casual, I will miss you." Casual nodded, then whispered with tears in her eyes. "Go, my baby. No forget who you be. Go carry this your brain, bring us better name. Let them know say even dust bin fit raise doctor." Glory hugged her tight. People around watched and wept. From the trash to triumph, from the bin to brilliance. When Glory arrived abroad, she came with just one bag, a few old clothes, and a head full of fire. She was the girl with wooden crutches, born from a bin, raised by a mad woman. Now walking the white halls of one of the most respected medical universities in the world. In no time, her story spread like perfume. Lecturers adored her brilliance. Doctors admired her boldness. Black students called her the Queen of the Crutches. Everyone wanted a picture with her, a quote from her, a piece of her light. Even some white students said she was a living inspiration. She laughed more, studied harder, and inspired many. But one sunny afternoon, while walking down the hallway, her new friend Amara, a Nigerian American, leaned closer and said, "Glory, abeg no vexo, but there's another girl in our faculty, a black girl too. Her name is, wait for it, Gloria." Glory raised a brow. "So?" She smiled, curious. Amara squinted. "She looks like you. Like, too much. Same face, same smile, but she's not using crutches, rich girl vibes, designer bags, gold bracelets, Gucci glasses. She's like the TikTok version of you." Glory laughed. "You day craze, so now I get twins for abroad?" But Amara wasn't joking. "I swear down, the first day I saw her, I almost called her Glory. You two are like carbon copy and photocopy." Glory laughed it off at first. "I beg no compare me with one Miss Gucci that cannot even spell neurosurgeon." But that evening, something pulled at her heart. A strange tingle in her chest, like a drum beating softly from the past. That night, Glory couldn't sleep. She sat by her window, staring at the moon. "Gloria," she whispered. The name echoed inside her, like a voice she had heard before, but never remembered. The next morning, Glory rolled her eyes playfully at Amara as they walked to class. "You know my timetable, right? Please, I must see this glorious Gloria you've hyping everywhere. Let me see a girl that wants to steal my spotlight in this school." Amara laughed out loud. "Steal what? My friend Rest. When we talk beauty, you are there. When we talk brain, no, you be chairman. Then you still carry crutches, join my sister. Your brand strong. Nobody can steal that one." Glory burst into laughter. "You're mad. Why don't you just start calling me the crippled neurosurgeon of the year?" They both laughed till they got to the library steps. 2 days later, Glory was in the library finishing some notes. Her glasses were slipping down her nose, her crutches resting beside her. She packed up her books, yawned, and was just about to leave when she heard footsteps, and then a loud giggle. She looked up. Standing at the entrance was Amara, grinning like someone who just caught a thief. Beside her was Gloria. Long hair, shiny lip gloss, fresh perfume, and soft baby skin glow. Designer bag in one hand, phone in the other. She looked like a music video in real life. Amara whispered, "Your competition has arrived." But instead of drama, Gloria squealed with excitement. Gee, you're so beautiful." Before Glory could reply, Gloria had already brought out her phone and click, a selfie, then another, and another. I just blew, guys. I took a picture with the crippled queen of brains. Wait, are you sure you're not my twin? Glory chuckled, unsure of what to say. Gloria giggled louder. My mom told me I was a twin, but they said the other one died at birth. Maybe you died and mistakenly entered another woman's womb. Boom! Reincarnated neurosurgeon. The whole library paused. Glory didn't laugh this time. Her smile slowly faded. Her fingers tightened on her crutches. A strange coldness rushed through her veins. Something wasn't right. But before she could speak, Gloria was already scrolling through the selfies excitedly. I swear, I'm posting this. I've officially blown. Twins by accident. The three girls sat and chatted for a long time. They laughed, shared stories. They even had the same weird laugh. Weeks later, both girls had become inseparable, true best friends. That evening, they sat quietly in the study room, books open but untouched. Gloria looked up at Glory and said softly, "Tell me everything about yourself." Glory smiled but shook her head. "Only if you go first." Gloria sighed and leaned back in her chair. Her eyes stared up at the ceiling as she spoke, her voice laced with hidden pain. "I have a lovely family. We have everything money can buy. I've traveled to more countries than I can count. From Paris to Tokyo, I've seen it all. But you know what? I still feel so lonely." She paused and looked down at her hands. "My dad is a renowned neurologist. My mom, a powerful barrister. I've always admired her strength, her confidence, the way she makes people listen. I want to be like her. I want to be a lawyer." Glory leaned in, quietly listening. "But my dad won't let me. He said no daughter of his will ever wear a wig and gown. He wants me to follow in his footsteps, to study medicine. He practically forced me into this course, and it's eating me up inside." She chuckled bitterly. "Look at me. I'm failing. I can't cope. I hate this course with everything in me. I try. I really do, but my brain just rejects it. And do you know what he does every year? He buys my results. He pays for grades just so I can move on. But guess what? His money can't buy me a brain." Gloria's voice cracked a little. "I still want to be a lawyer. That's who I am. Not this lie I'm living to please him." Glory clapped slowly and teased gently. "Wow, rich girl with a dull brain. That's new." Gloria laughed and playfully smacked her shoulder. "You're not serious, Jar. Now come on, I've told you mine. Tell me about yours. I want to know everything about the real Glory, the one who has this whole school talking. Who really are you?" Glory smiled, her voice steady, but her words laced with emotions too deep to hide. "My name is Glory Casual. I only know my mom. Funny enough, we live under the bridge. That's where I grew up. We couldn't afford accommodation, nothing. My mom, she's not exactly what society would call normal. People refer to her as a mad woman. But to me," Glory placed a hand on her chest, "she's the best mother I could ever ask for." Gloria's eyes widened, lips parted in silent shock. "I don't know who my father is," Glory went on, "and she never talks about him. But anytime I make her proud, she shouts from her heart, 'Look at my peekin' way, no get papa. We no get leg, but get mama. Get correct brain.'" She smiled at the memory, then continued. "For years, I stayed behind classrooms, listening quietly while others learned. That was my school. No uniform, no books of my own, just my ears and whatever casual my mom could pick from the trash. Then one day, the head teacher asked a question, and no one could answer. I stepped out from the shadows and answered it. That moment changed everything. I got a scholarship." Glory took a breath. "And I chose this course because of my mom. I want to become the doctor that will treat her myself. I want to make sure she's fine." She chuckled softly. "So yeah, we didn't have money, unlike your family that had everything." Tears silently streamed down Gloria's cheeks. She covered her mouth. "Oh my God, so you suffered all this? Why didn't we ever meet? I swear, we had everything. If I had known, I would have given you food, clothes, money, anything." Glory laughed and wiped her own eyes. "Oh, see, rich babe feeling pity for me." They both laughed, and in that moment, something unspoken passed between them. Two girls from two different worlds. And from there, their bond became unshakable. But that night, sleep abandoned Gloria completely. She lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, her heart pounding with 1,000 questions. How can someone so brilliant, so strong, be raised by a mad woman? Who got her mother pregnant? Was it rape? Was it love? Why is Glory living like that while I've had everything handed to me? She turned restlessly, eyes burning with unshed tears. No, I can't just sit here and do nothing. She grabbed her phone, opened her contacts, and dialed the one man who had never failed her, her father. "Hello, sweetheart," Mr. Adams' voice came on, calm and loving as always. "Dad," she said softly, trying to steady her voice. "I need your help, and I want you to do it for me, please." "Go ahead," he replied curiously. Gloria hesitated, then took a deep breath. "One of my friends, her mother is mentally unstable. People call her mad, but she's not completely gone. I've met many people in worse states. She needs help. She's still human, and she's suffering. I want you to pick her up and help get her treated. Please, Daddy." There was silence on the other end for a moment. Mr. Adams sighed gently. "Gloria, I promise to always do anything for you. But this one, it's a hard one. I'm not even sure where to begin. Please, Dad," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Do this for me. She raised my friend in that condition. She gave her all. She deserves better." A pause, then a gentle chuckle. "You're growing into someone your mother would be proud of." Gloria smiled faintly. "All right," he said at last. "Send me every detail you have. Her name, her condition, where she stays, anything. I'll send a private team to handle it. Consider it done." "Thank you, Daddy." Gloria's voice cracked as tears of relief slipped down her cheeks. "Thank you so much." As she hung up, she looked out through the window and whispered, "Glory, I don't know who you really are yet, but from this moment, you're not alone anymore." 6 months later, Gloria was lying on her bed, flipping through her books absent-mindedly when her phone rang. It was her father. "Dad," she said, picking up with a smile. "You're calling too early. Is everything okay?" Mr. Adams chuckled. "Do you want to speak with someone special?" She rolled her eyes playfully. "Dad, you know I don't like surprises. Who is it this time? Some motivational speaker again?" He laughed. "No, my dear, this one is very special. Madam Casual is here, and she wants to speak with you." Gloria's heart skipped. "What?" Then, through the speaker, came a calm, tender voice, soft but filled with strength. "Thanks so much, my daughter. May heaven bless you." Gloria jumped off her bed, her hands covering her mouth as her eyes welled up with tears. "Oh, Mommy Casual. You sound okay. You sound whole." "I feel whole, my daughter. God bless you. You changed my life." Gloria squealed in excitement. "Oh my God, I'm so happy. Wait, don't go yet. I'm calling Glory. We have to speak with you together." She didn't even wait for a response. She dropped the call, snatched her phone, and ran as fast as she could to the library where Glory usually stayed. The entire hallway echoed with her voice. "Glory! Glory! Come quick! Your mom is on the phone. She's fine. She's healed." Books dropped. Eyes turned. But Gloria didn't care. Today, nothing else mattered but the joy she was about to share. "Glory!" Gloria shouted again. Glory stared wide-eyed at Gloria, heart pounding. "Gloria, why are you shouting my name?" "Don't prank me, Gloria. Today is not my birthday. I know get strength for play." But Gloria only smiled, a tear glistening in her eye. "This is not a prank, Glory, I promise." Their eyes locked, one filled with doubt, the other with excitement and truth. Then Gloria asked gently, "Wait, when is your birthday, Glory?" Glory blinked, suddenly quiet. "My mom never told me. She didn't know it. I just picked a random day, a month and a year that sounded nice." Gloria's heart broke a little more hearing that. She waved her hand quickly, trying to change the mood. "Wait first. Forget birthday gist. Let's talk to someone very important right now." With trembling hands, they made the call. "Hello?" came Madame Casual's warm voice from the speaker. Glory froze, mouth open. Her legs gave way and she sat slowly on the chair beside her. "Mummy? Mummy, it's me? Glory? My daughter, I see clearly now. Your face, your voice, your brain, I remember it all. Forgive me for those times I couldn't love you well. I'm better now because someone special brought light into my darkness." Both girls screamed. They jumped, they hugged, they laughed, and cried all at once. Gloria handed the phone to Glory again, and she spoke softly. "Mr. Adams, sir, thank you. I don't have words, but you gave me back my world. Thank you for restoring my mother." Mr. Adams chuckled gently from the other side. "You deserve so much more, my child. I didn't do it for thanks. I did it for love, for my daughter's heart, and now for you too." And in that moment, they weren't just students. They weren't just friends anymore. They were family. A few months later, the graduation hall was filled with cheers, confetti, and flashing cameras. Students walked across the stage, receiving their certificates with proud smiles. But when Glory Casual was called, the whole hall went wild. Best Graduating Student of the Year, Glory Casual. Tears streamed down her face as she walked across the stage, holding her certificate high. The girl who once studied behind classrooms raised by a woman they called Mad now stood at the top. After the ceremony, Gloria ran to her, pulling her into a tight hug. "Bestie, I'm so proud of you. Look at you. India is waiting for the brain of the year." Glory laughed, shaking her head in disbelief. "They gave me an automatic employment offer in India. Imagine, me stay under bridge." Then she looked at Gloria, whose smile faded a little. "But what about you?" she asked gently. Gloria lowered her eyes. I didn't do well, Glory. I graduated with a low grade. They said I should consider changing my course. Like I told you earlier, I don't like this course. My dad forced me into it. I can't cope with medicine." Glory took her hands firmly. "Yes, you're not a failure, Gloria. You're just in the wrong story. And guess what? We can change it." Gloria's eyes welled up. Glory continued. "Give me 1 week. I'm going to talk to your dad. You're going to study law. That's what you've always wanted. That's who you really are." 1 week later, they flew back to Nigeria. Side by side in the plane, hands clasped and hearts full. Mr. Adams and his wife, Betty, had been counting down the days with excitement. For the past week, their mansion had been a hub of nonstop activity. Cleaners scrubbed every corner, decorators put up fresh flowers, chefs prepared an elaborate welcome feast. All of it just to receive their daughter Gloria and her dear friend Glory, whom they'd heard so much about. As a special surprise, Madame Casual arrived a day earlier and was comfortably lodged in the guest wing. She sat beside Betty that afternoon, quietly observing the grand preparations with a heart full of gratitude. Outside, the sound of car tires rolling into the compound broke the silence. Maids and security lined up, ready. Mr. Adams and Betty stood tall at the entrance, hearts racing in anticipation. Inside the car, Gloria nudged Glory and smiled. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Glory nodded, her eyes twinkling. "Our resemblance will shock them. Let's step out together." At once, the car doors opened, and they stepped out, wearing the same outfit, same hairstyle, same bright smile. The only difference? Glory leaned on her crutches gently, but proudly. Gasps filled the air. Madame Casual's eyes widened in disbelief. "You are now double? If no be this crutches, I for no know who be who." Betty's hands flew to her mouth. "Oh my God," she breathed. Then instinctively, she wrapped her arms around Gloria. "Your friend looks exactly like you." But it was Mr. Adams who suddenly staggered backward, eyes fixed on the girls, shock written all over his face. His hand reached for the pillar beside him, his legs buckling. "Darling!" Betty rushed to him. Everyone turned. "Daddy!" Gloria panicked. Madame Casual looked from Mr. Adams to the girls and back again, her brows furrowed in sudden confusion. What just happened? Why did Mr. Adams look like he'd seen a ghost? And in that heavy silence, one thing was clear. Something more than resemblance was going on. A week has passed since. Mr. Adams had been receiving treatment at home. He wasn't saying anything. Everyone got panicked. Then When he became stable a week later, Madame Casual said calmly, "I can help you break the silence." Everyone turned to look at her. "I found her in the waste bin," she said. Glory's eyes widened. "Mommy, what are you talking about?" Casual nodded slowly. "Yes, I was mad, but I know the difference between a cooked chicken and a baby. When I found you, you were almost dead. That wasn't the day you were born, but I knew I could help raise a life. And that's what I did." Betty's tears began to fall. She placed a trembling hand over her mouth. "We are sorry. We threw your body away. We didn't know you survived." Mr. Adams coughed weakly and finally spoke. "Betty, I lied to you. She wasn't dead. I threw her away when I noticed she had bad legs from the womb. She was born crippled." There was a long silence. Then Gloria, with shaking hands, picked up her phone. Her voice was steady. "You need to come here right now," she said to the police. Mr. Adams turned to her quickly, trying to sit up. "Please, I did it for all of us, to save us from the shame she might bring. A crippled child in a high-profile family like ours?" Betty turned to him slowly, eyes burning with disgust. She gave a cold smile. "Just watch how I will stand against you in court," she said. "You are a disgrace to your profession." Courtroom day. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, family, and onlookers all sat still as Glory stood confidently in the witness box. The judge leaned forward, awaiting her statement. Glory smiled brightly. Her voice rang with clarity and strength. "I don't know what you all expect from me. You want me to choose who should be my parents? You keep quoting one law or another, asking me to claim a name, a bloodline, a legacy I never knew. Tell me, who should I choose? Should I choose fame? Should I choose a father who never knew me? Should I choose a name just to become someone I already am? For your information, there is no door I want to open, whether in this country or abroad, that I can't open already. So, I, Glory Casual, still and will forever choose my mother, Madame Casual, as both my father and my mother. I choose Gloria as my best friend and her mother, Madame Betty, as my friend's mother. And finally, please forgive my friend's father, Mr. Adams. He couldn't father me because he didn't have capacity for it. He was afraid of my fame, afraid of my strength. But he didn't know. My destiny needs someone strong and fearless. That's why my mama found me." The courtroom was silent. A few people wiped away tears. The judge adjusted his glasses and read from the bench. "Having heard the testimony of the key witness, Miss Glory Casual, and considering the circumstances surrounding her abandonment and upbringing, the court hereby recognizes Madame Casual as the legal guardian and rightful mother of Glory Casual, with full honor and rights. Mr. Adams is hereby found guilty of child abandonment and attempted concealment of a living child. However, due to the emotional appeal of the victim and her request for mercy, this court grants a suspended sentence alongside mandatory community service at a children's rehabilitation center. Let this be a reminder. Blood doesn't always make you a parent. Love does. Court is adjourned. The gavel hit the block. Madame Casual wept silently. Glory walked over and hugged her tightly. Gloria and Betty joined them, a new family, bound not by blood anymore, but by love and destiny. Hello, besties. Thanks so much for watching. These are the moral lessons. Number 1, love is stronger than blood. A true parent is not just the one who gives birth, but the one who stays, who sacrifices, who cares. Number 2, never be ashamed of your story. What was once your weakness may become your. Number 3, forgiveness is strength. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but choosing peace over pain. Number 4, destiny can rise from the dust. No matter how you started, your future can still shine bright. Thank you, my besties, for staying till the end of this emotional and powerful journey. Your love and support means everything. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's hear from you in the comments. What did this story teach you? Tell me in your own language if you want. I'm always reading. I love you all so much. God bless you richly. See you in the next episode. Besties forever.